Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today we're gonna talk about this shitload of, or a fuck ton of information, and it is the book How to Rebuild Civilization by Hungry Minds. And yeah, it's a very big book. It's like, I haven't seen yet, it's like 400 pages. And this is something that I've seen going around for preppers, and I've been waiting a long time to buy it because I was very skeptical about how is it really a good book to buy. Is it worth it? Because it's kind of it has a hefty price, but not a big as a price as my book called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch. It's a detective story, so there will be a link in the description if you are interested. So if you don't want to buy a big book like this, a smaller, more simpler book about detective will be in the description in the link. All right. So finally found a book, but this version is in Dutch, so that is not the English version. But I must say, I'm kind of impressed. But the problem is, and it is also the reason why I waited so long to buy this book, is because I did not found much information about what's inside of it. I saw a few pictures of some pages, but yeah, it was not enough to make me get over the edge to buy it, to justify it. But I finally did it. It was more of a gamble, and I'm kind of happy with it. But to inspire other preppers, if it's worth it to buy this book, I will show you some of the pages, what is good about it, what is bad about it. Uh, yeah, it's not, how do you say this? It will not be stealing, how do you say this? If you want to give away somebody's information, yeah, in the book kind of thing, you know what I mean. I'm all over the place today, so I'm going to tell you what is inside, and you can make your own judgment if it's worth buying it. So like I said, it's a big book, and the thing is, if you look at it first, it has a lot of pictures inside of it, and that is a good thing, and in my opinion also a bad thing, because it is just costing so much more because they are beautiful artistic pictures, but it is more, otherwise it is more pleasant for the eyes, and it is more, how do you say this, um, easier to look and to visually concept it, the techniques that are inside of it. So the first one is, of course, how to make fire. um, I will show you a few pages. And the first thing is just rudimentary survival. How to find water, uh, edible, inedible plants, making tools from things in nature. Uh, we're going to build shelter, to make soap. That is a good one. So these are step plan how to make soap from things that you own yourself. So that is very handy, and is something that I've always wanted to try. And now I have a very simple way, a simple understanding on how to make it in a very rudimentary way. So it will not be a refined soap, but this will be soap how they used to make it, like in medieval time, with that every form, so to say, so to tell, can make. So we got also about herbs. We got steam bath, how to make a steam bath, how to repair broken bones and burning wounds. Did it with rudimentary tools and herbs and this kind of stuff. So that's also very handy. It's like, so like with honey and other natural things. How to this one that I found very interesting, and this is a step plan how to make penicillin yourself, so antibiotics. So yeah, this could be very handy how to make it yourself with like with fruit, with stuff like fruits or potatoes and that kind of stuff. So yeah, uh, improvised surgeon, but yeah, that's not really handy. How to do a blood transfusion, it is also very handy how to do it yourself if professional medical help is not around, and how to determine blood groups and that kind of stuff, and what you have to mix. um, Denture, that is not that big, but on how to do rudimentary repair and some how do you say it, maintenance and healing. Giving birth, how to do it. Epidemics, yeah, that is something that you find in other books. How to make a Röntgen machine, but that is a little bit too, how to say this, too going over my head. So we got a section of plants, fungus, um, crops, which one are best and how to make them. We got how do you say this? If you want to turn farming, the grounds of farming, in rotationing farming is what I'm trying to say. How to plow the fields. We got how to make birds, scarecrows for birds, the most effective way. How to make wine. That is also very handy for people who are interested. Uh, if you can see, it's very rudimentary, but yeah, it's something very easy to conceptualize. How to make tea, and also tea from other things that you find here in Europe, for example, and not only in Asia. How to make coffee, yet again. How to make chocolate and cacao. How to make rice and hydroculture. And now we're going to animals, and these are how to make traps for animals in different ways. How to fish different ways. How to make leather. Uh, how to make a leather. I don't know how you say the process to make leather in English, but you know what I mean. From animal to the coat that you have. How to keep livestock. How to make silk. How to keep bees. That is also very interesting. Simple guide on 2 pages on how to keep bees. Of course, a real bee keeping is more complicated, but like I said, these are all the very rudimentary. How to eat bugs, what kind of bugs you can eat, which part of the bugs, what color and this and that, and how to rotate them. So very handy. Oyster, how to keep oysters, how to make biofuel. That is also something that I wanted to try, but it has failed with me. But it is a very rudimentary way yet again. How to do it yourself. You will fail a lot, but from the failing you will learn. How to make bread from if you only have grain. How to make bread and other products that like that. Salt and um, ways to keep food stored for storage for a long time. Drying and smoking meat. Uh, Herbs and spices that you find in nature. How to make sugar is also there is even a way made on how to make cotton candy, for example. So yeah, see, we got how to make cheese. It's also a very interesting way, and how to make tofu, blue cheese, the all that kind of cheeses. How to make beer is also explained in the steps how you have to do it. Materials. Yeah, these are like materials like copper, tin, zinc, wolfram, platina, all that kind of. How to mine for stuff, what you watch out for the like the gases. How to make tunnels, how to dig the tunnels in the most effective way so that it won't collapse. That kind of stuff. And for oxygen, how to make glass is also could be very handy. Uh, if civilization is collapsing, how to make rubber in different kind of ways. How to make alcohol for different in that is not alcohol for it could be for drinking, but it's also for make fuel, disinfectant, and for antifreeze and that kind of stuff. So how to make it yourself, how to make cotton and wool from sheep to the wool, so you can make clothing. And here we have how to make paint and brushes, how to make gunpowder, and there is a way to obtain all the materials yourself from to make gunpowder from your own peat to charcoal and how sulfur and that kind of stuff, where you can find it or how you can make it. How to refine oil. Yeah, it is a little bit more difficult, but yeah, just to give you an idea of what's all inside of this. So we're now at tools, how to make measurement tools, because measurements are important. How to make wheels yourself could be very handy. And what to watch out for. How to do pottery, very important if you want to store or transport stuff. It's something that I did myself. How to make clay to make bricks. I made it inside of a video. How to smith to make tools. how to make glue or duct tape. Sorry if I struggle with it, because I have to, in a moment, I have to translate everything. How to weld, how to drill and milling, how to do milling, how to build stone and cement, how to build roads, how to make arches for bridges, how to make ways to cover your roof with tiles and stuff, and how to isolate them. So that could be very handy if there is no professionals to repair your roof during shitty fan. There are different kind of materials like bamboo, clay, straw, that kind of stuff. How to make sewers. How to make how do you say this? Weaponized concrete, like concrete with metal bars in, reinforced concrete. That's the word I'm looking for. So now we are with how to make cogs like the turning wheels. How to make bicycles yourself. How measurement of times to make clocks. How to make cranes. How to make how to make and or repair or maintain sewing machines and weaving. So that could be very interesting, especially in a shitty defense situation. We have Perpetual Mobile, so we got Optica. How to make lenses. This could be very handy if there are no professionals to make glass and you have to make an improvised reading glasses for somebody who lost them or broke them. Could be very handy. Different kind of ways to make glasses. How to make a mirror could also be a handy thing. It's very misunderstood how this could be make. How to build a microscope, how to do photography in a very rudimentary way, but how to make animation, like the simple turning the wheel with pictures and light. So yeah, how to make a battery in different kind of ways. So let's see. And the thing is, it's usually in 2 pages, so don't expect a whole manual, because every subject that I mentioned here before could have a book of his own. So these are the most rudimentary way to understand it, and so you can improvise it. How to build a generator, um, how to build a generator yourself. Let's see. How to make transmitters, wires, how to make glowing lamps, how to how do you say this? Not welding, but solding, which is like welding with 450 degrees Celsius and a third material. How to make energy centrals. How to have a compass. How to use compass and navigation tools for on sea. Let's see. How to make the sails of a ship and how they work. It is very rudimentary. How to make boats, how to make a knot. You can do this in other books. How to detect the weather and this kind of stuff could be very handy, not only on sea but also on land. How to build a submarine, that is not necessarily. How to build a balloon, yeah. How to build a plane, yeah. We all know that is just the most. You will never build this yourself. How to build a gyrocopter, an airship. You will never do this. How to build a parachute. As there one thing I will never build myself is a parachute, and I will never test it. How to build a windmill. So this could be much more interesting in a shitty defense situation, and not only a windmill, but also for water wheel. How to make a, how do you say this? It's like from Gutenberg. How to make a press to press your own books and paper. We got a hydraulic press. We got how metallurgy, how to make metal, steam machine, burn just a fossil fuel motor, railway, uh, how to uh, not progress, but how to deal with garbage, for example. That is yeah, just saying how you can reuse something and this and that. So we got army. So we got just simple fighting techniques with hands, with melee, with armor, with bows and crossbows. how to siege. So these are medieval things. How to make a improvised firearm yourself. So yeah, it is just a very rudimentary way how to make a gun, so to say. Uh, we got how to build a tank, but you never do that. A coil gun. That is, now we're getting into more absurd things. So that is what I said. You never know what's inside of this. There are there are so many. For every 10 good things that are inside of this, there is at least one that is more, yeah, how you do it, but it's something that you will never do or make, or perhaps even, yeah, I don't say need, but it's on how to build civilization. So it could be handy in that. How to make your own alarm clock without electricity and that kind of stuff. So like it's like with candles and weights and this kind of stuff. Uh, Brushing your teeth in different ways. This could be very handy on how to keep your dentures good with things that you with toothpaste that if toothpaste is not available, the things you find around, and how to make brushes yourself. How to make your an improvised fridge would also be a handy way. We got kitchen materials, yeah, so just regular materials that they it's like cooking in the 1900s, so to say. When and how to take care of your textile, yeah, clothing and this and that. How to make jeans, uh, yeah. How to make perfume could also be handy, like what materials and how to do it with presses and that kind of stuff. How to make locks and safes. How to make a uh, pencil and pens. So writing materials. How to make ink could be very handy. How to make paper. That is also very important, I would say, in a shitty defense scenario, on how to make your own paper. So how to make condoms. That is probably something you will never do, but they got a way to make condoms, and how to make pregnancy tests in the old times. For example, I found this very interesting. A way is to let a woman piss on some grains, and if the seeds will start to spurt after a few days, then it triggers something in the plant in the seeds that it's already giving search certain hormones to the plants, and it will start to spurt. Another thing was if you piss on a rat or something, it was something with giving urine to a rat, female rat, and the hormones will make uh, her eggs, or how do you say this, her eggs ovulating. They will become bigger, so you have to kill the rat and dissect the female rat to see if they are bigger, and then you know that the woman is pregnant. And these used to be the pregnancy tests that were often like it was, I don't say 90%, but it was often a good way to determine that. So how to make carrier pigeons, radio, telegraph, telephone, how to use codes, a typing machine. This could be also be very handy if you have one of those old-timey typewriters. How to make those bands with inks and that kind of stuff, or on how to repair them. We got art like painting, modern art. Yeah, that is poetry, theater, origami like paper tattoos, bonsai. You got some magical tricks if you want to amuse somebody. We got music like singing, how to do it. We got a harp. We got drums, how to make them. I don't know what berimbu is. Uh, I look at the pictures, but I still don't get it. I think it's some sort of dance with a bow and a music thing about it. Uh, Saxophone, an oracle, how to make a sitar, uh, one of those playing boxes. I don't know if you can see it. I'll make a phonograph like Thomas Edison. How to make a rave. Yeah, there's more of the absurd things that I talked about. Uh, Breathing, meditation, self improvement, yoga, um, Qigong. Yeah, it's like some sort of weekend kind of thing. Dreaming. Yeah, we are getting now into the more absurd things, but psychotherapy. Now we're getting games like games with dices, uh, some other board games that I cannot translate, chess, Geo or Go, games with playing cards. For example, we got certain games that I never played before, and we got delicacies, how to make your own sushi. I think this is the part where they had to just put some things in to make the book as big as possible. How to make ramen and noodles, how to make your own fast foods. For example, how to make a hamburger or a hot dog in an improvised way with very rudimentary things on how to cook it. It's like mini recipes, so to say. How to make your own soda. This is more interesting, and I did an experiment in one of the videos on how to make your own fizzy pop with just spruce needles, pine needles, so to say. So yeah, these are other ways to make soda, so to say. How to make alcohol yet again, and these are more the different types of alcohol like rum or brandy. There is a whole list on how to make it: vodka, whiskey, absinthe, that kind of stuff. How to make cocktails. Yeah, these are desserts. Uh, just more cooking stuff. And these are perhaps how to build civilization. These are like overgangsritueel. How do you say this? It's like the moment, like a ritual that you have when a boy becomes a man, and this could be very interesting. And it's something that I think we need back in society. Something that allow does not just say, "Oh, you're 18, you're now a man. You need to do something to become a man." Like we used to have conscription, and in the army you became a man because you went through hardship, and it is several ways in several cultures on how they did it. So that could be very handy, and also how to um, channel aggression in society, like through games and competition, that kind of stuff, so that people are will put their aggression in positive things with rules, then instead of going to riots and war, so to say. uh, how to tell stories. Yeah, it's an art, and not many people master it these days because they only look to TikTok movies. How to build cities, how to organize festivals and why they are important, and yeah, these are all the things that are inside of this book. And like I said, for every 10 good things, there are always 2 pages that are perhaps not that necessarily or just feel like filler up, but there are many things that you don't find many sources of in on the even on the internet, or they are sources that are always dubious. But these are things that are easily explained, have good pictures to make it good visualizing, and also things in a way that you can do it yourself. So this is not like take chemical X from that you will probably never find in any store. No, these are things that you will. These are mostly things that you will find in your own surrounding. This is usually for America or for Europe, but generally these are the things that people in medieval time could find around them and how they did things, is so to say. So overall, I would say make your own opinion if you want to buy this or not. And I would say, it's good. I would say because it's an expensive book, I would say get with your mates together, buy this book together, and just lend it out for when you want to do several projects. That is more handier than each one buying one of these. But I would say I would give it a 7 to 8 on 10, because it is more generally it's like wisdom, but it is not pure specific scientific manual about certain objects. So yeah, that's the only downside about it. But I'm kind of happy with this, that I have this. It's not that it's worth its money, I would say. So make your own judgment about everything that I showed you here. It was more than I had when I, and it's also the reason why was afraid to buy this book, because was it worth the money? And now I told you what's inside of it and how to do it. So yeah, like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and see you next video. Cheers.